Hey guys, and welcome back to House of Rouse, and today I'll be talking about some of my favorite horror remakes. Just to simplify things a little bit, we will be excluding adaptations of books because I think that's its own category. I also want to give a shout out to two honorable mentions, so that'll be Let Me In from 2010 and Little Shop of Horrors from 1986. A lot of the time, remakes don't inherently justify their existence, and for that reason today I will be focusing on 5 that I believe either expand on or achieve something different from the source material. Starting off at number 5 is The Hills Have Eyes from 2006. Much like the original, this movie focuses on a family traveling through the desert in a motorhome that breaks down, and one by one they fall victim to a series of inbred cannibals that live in the hills. The thing that I really love about this movie is that it doesn't try too hard to modernize it or make it feel like the early 2000s, and I think it works as a great companion piece. The effects are really well done, the makeup on these creatures is absolutely great, and you have Robert Joy as the leader of these cannibals, who is absolutely gross. He's no Michael Berryman, but he does a great job. Next up at number 4 is the Blob remake from 1988, directed by Chuck Russell. Coming out nearly 30 years after the original, this film focuses a lot more on the practical effects of the Blob. Where the 1958 version really excelled was creating lovable characters that you followed, the 1988 version is much more of a horror comedy, but I think it really works. Next up at number 3 is 1953's House of Wax, which is a remake of Mystery of the Wax Museum from 1933. What gets this movie added to the list is Vincent Price's performance as Henry, a wax sculptor who loses the mobility in his hands when his business partner sets their wax museum on fire, and he is forced to find people to dip in wax to add to his museum since he can no longer sculpt. This movie also does a great job at building on the poetic nature of why he's doing what he's doing, as wrong as it is. Not to mention, it's the first horror movie that was shot for 3D. Next up is The Fly from 1986. Now, I already talked about this movie in my Science Gone Wrong episode, but I do want to reiterate that it is drastically different from the original. In the original, you really don't see him transformed until the very end, whereas in this one, you gradually see him transform throughout the runtime. And it is very sad to watch this guy sort of deteriorate as the movie progresses. He is falling apart. And Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis both give incredible performances, and the effects are, again, fantastic. And my number 1 favorite horror remake is John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. I've definitely talked about this movie in some of the previous videos, but I think it is so great. It almost stands on its own. It is tonally completely different from Howard Hawks' version, and as a story, I do think that the original is superior, but it focused much more on the tension of them not knowing who exactly the thing was. The remake is much more of a monster film. Well, that's it for today, you guys. Check back in tomorrow, Halloween, where I'll be talking about my favorite Halloween horror films.